Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Krystina and as you can tell by the title, today is going to be a full face using Wet n Wild Beauty. I actually planned to film this video back in December. I had bought everything and prepared for this video and I actually started filming it, but it didn't go as planned. So this video was meant to be a full face using Wet n Wild Beauty as well as a first impressions video on everything that I had bought. Unfortunately, halfway through the video my camera died and I forgot my spare batteries and my camera charger at one of my friend's houses, and he lived an hour away from here, so there wasn't much I could do about it to finish the video. Little disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. I went out and purchased all these products on my own. I wish it was sponsored. I went out and purchased all these products with my own money, and I just thought it would be a fun video to share with you guys just because Wet n Wild is such an affordable makeup brand. So if you guys didn't know, I live in New Zealand, and if you weren't already aware, New Zealand is currently in lockdown for 4 weeks due to the coronavirus. So I'm currently editing this video. What I'm trying to say is that since I'm going to be in lockdown for 4 weeks, I'm going to be uploading twice a week rather than once a week for you guys, so you guys are gonna have more content from me. But yeah, that's enough rambling. If you guys want to see how I created this makeup look here, then keep on watching. Okay, we are gonna start with eyebrows. Please ignore the little scab that is on my nose. My nose piercing is still healing, so I'm gonna be starting off with my eyebrows as I always do. So I have two different products from Wet n Wild today for my eyebrows. So I have the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Kit and I have the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Micro Brow Pencil. I actually used the brow pencil in the last video and I ended up hating it. I really don't like brow pencils in general, so nothing against Wet n Wild, I just don't like them. And I ended up using this Ultimate Brow Kit, which is alright in my opinion, but I personally prefer pomades or gels for eyebrows. But you work with what you got. I actually went to a couple different stores and I don't think Wet n Wild actually sell brow pomades or brow gels, or maybe they just don't sell it in New Zealand, I'm not actually sure. What I found was really cute with this is it comes with like really tiny tweezers. We're gonna dig into the Essentials brush bundle from Wet n Wild and use the eyebrow brush set they provided in here. I'm gonna try my best to stick to using all the Wet n Wild brushes as well, or at least give them a go. I personally like using my own brushes, so we'll see how it goes. I'll try my best to stick to using the Wet n Wild ones, but if I do have to, I might use a couple of my own. So I'm going to dip into the darkest shade and I'm just going to underline my eyebrow and then fill it in from there. Personally don't mind this brow product just because it does blend out nicely. I feel like it would work a lot better with a different brush though. Okay, now that we are done with my eyebrows, I'm going to move into concealers. So for concealer, I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. So the one I have is in the shade Light Medium Beige. I have used this concealer before. It was probably one of the first products from Wet n Wild that I actually tried, and I tried a couple years back. This one is really old. I didn't actually bother to buy a new one. I'm going to be decanting the eyeshadow onto this decanting tray just so it makes it easier for me to use, and then use a brush to go under my eyebrows to carve them out. I'm just going to be using this brush to carve out my eyebrows. I'm going to use it to carve out my eyebrows and place it all over my eyelid as well to prep for eyeshadow. So I'm going to use the concealer as like a base. Okay, now that I've placed down the concealer and carved under my eyebrow, I can't actually find a brush that I can use to blend out my concealer, so I'm just going to use one of my own brushes. This brush is from AOA and it's just a flat top brush, and I'm going to use this to blend out the concealer. Okay, now that we've blended out the concealer, I'm going to need to set it down before it creases. I have two different setting powders. So I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder, and I also have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. So the translucent powder is a loose powder, and then the pressed one is in the shade Warm Beige. So normally for my eyelids I always go in with a translucent powder, but personally I prefer the Wet n Wild pressed powder better. So I'm going to go in with that powder and just set down my eyelids. So now that my eyelids are set, we're going to move on to eyeshadow. So for eyeshadow, I have the Wet n Wild Nude Awakening palette. I also have the Wet n Wild Glitter Single in the shade Toasty. So I'm not sure what kind of look I want to create yet, but we will figure that out. And I'm going to use this eyeshadow brush here to try to create an eyeshadow look with this palette. So these are the colors that we are working with in this palette. So I'm going to firstly dip into the transition shade, and I'm going to pack this all over my eyelid. I personally really don't like this eyeshadow brush. I find it too flimsy and it's not dense enough, so I'm actually going to put this away and use one of my own eyeshadow brushes to continue this look. I'm going to dip into the shade number 7, which is the purpley shade in this palette, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in my crease but focus it more onto the outer corners of my eyes. So now that we've packed on the second eyeshadow color, I'm going to move into the glitter. So I'm going to do a half cut crease, so I'm just going to grab some concealer and pop it over the inner corner of my eyes to around the middle of my eyelid. This is going to create the base for the glitter, and it's also going to make a nice and clean cut for you. So now that we have put down the concealer, I'm going to be going back in with the purple shade that we put all over the crease, and I'm just going to blend out the edges. I'm going to be going in with number 6, which is this top color right here. So I'm going to pack in that glitter shade all over where the concealer was just put. So I'm just going to pack down the glitter all over where I just laid down the concealer. The glitter shades on the Wet n Wild palette they're not super pigmented and they're not super glittery. I really expected it to be a lot more pop of a color. So I think I'm going to go over top of that with a lighter glitter that they have in here. So I'm going to go in with number 4, which is more of a champagne color here. So I'm just going to pop that champagne color all over the top of it. Hopefully it makes it a little bit more intense. I'm just going underneath my eyes with a baby wipe and cleaning up the fallout from the eyeshadow. I personally never use primer. I just go in with a really good serum and I go in with a really good moisturizer as my base, just because I find that that works for me. So we're going to move on to foundation now. So I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation, and I have it in 2 different shades. So I have it in golden beige and desert beige, just because I couldn't find it in my exact shade. One of them is a little too dark for me and one is a little too light, but then again, I did buy this a couple months ago, so one of them might match me now. I might end up just mixing them together to try to find my perfect shade. I'm just decanting the foundations onto my tray. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Beauty Blender, and I'm going to apply this foundation all over my skin. So these foundations retail for roughly $10 at Farmers, which is so good. I personally really like this foundation. I've used it a couple times already. I find that it has really good coverage. It's not like a full matte finish, but it's also not fully dewy. It's like perfectly in the middle. Okay, so as you can tell, the foundation is like a medium to buildable coverage. It looks quite light on my skin on camera, but in person it doesn't look that light, which is really strange. It could just be because of my ring light though. But now that the foundation's on, I'm gonna go back in with the concealer and pop it underneath my eyes. I'm also gonna apply a little bit of the concealer in the middle of my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and on my chin, just to brighten up my face. So now that the concealer is on, I am going to go in with a flat top brush again, and I'm just going to blend it all out. Okay, now that that is all blended out, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Loose Powder, and I'm just going to lightly set the areas that I just put the concealer in. I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild big fluffy brush here. Okay, this brush is way too big. I'm just going to go in with one of my brushes because that was way too big. That'd be good to set all over the face, but not the areas that I'm sitting at the moment. So Okay, now I'm going to go in with the big fluffy brush and I'm just going to lightly set the rest of my face. So now I'm going to move back into eyeshadow. I'm just going to grab the first two shades that I use, so the transition shade and the purple shade, and just put it underneath my lash line. So now that that is all done, I'm going to move into bronzer. So I have the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. So the bronzer color that I have today is called What Shady Beaches, which I quite like. I've never actually used this bronzer before, so this is going to be my first time trying it out. So the Wet n Wild brush bundle didn't actually come with like a contouring brush, so I'm just going to use my Real Techniques brush that I normally use to contour with. I'm just going to be placing that product on my cheekbones, a little bit around my forehead, and I'm going to be placing some on my jawline as well as down the bridge of my nose to contour my nose. First impressions on this bronzer, I actually really like it. Like, it blends out so nicely. I feel like I picked out the perfect color too, which is really nice. Yeah, I personally really like this bronzer and I will definitely be using it again. So now that we have finished with bronzer, I'm going to move into blush. So I have the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Fantastic Plastic Pink. So I have actually used this blush before and I really like it, and it is so affordable. So I'm just going to be going in with this brush here from Wet n Wild, which is like a blush brush. I'm just going to pop this product all over the apples of my cheeks and then blend it up slightly over my cheekbones. So I'm going to pop a little bit of that blush around the edges of my forehead too, just to blend it out nicely, and then I'm going to put a little bit on my nose. Just a little bit. But look how beautiful that blush is. Now that we're finished with blush, I'm going to move into highlighters. I have the Wet n Wild Make Glow Highlighting Powder in the shade Blossom Glow. The Wet n Wild brush set doesn't actually have like a very small brush for highlight. So I'm just going to be using my NYX pencil brush to highlight the inner corner of my eyes, and I'm going to be using my Real Techniques highlighting brush to highlight the rest of my face. I'm just going to start off by using my NYX pencil brush to highlight the inner corner of my eyes, and then placing a little bit of the highlight underneath my brow bone, as well as highlighting the tip of my nose and a little bit on the bridge of my nose. Then I'm going to be going in with my Real Techniques highlighting fan brush, and then I'm going to place that on my cheekbones. I'm going to place it a little bit over the top of my brows, as well as on my chin and on my cupid's bow. Okay, so before we move on to mascara, I'm just going to quickly curl my lashes with my Shiseido eyelash curler. Curling my lashes is essential because, as you can tell, my natural lashes are super short, they're super thin, as well as they point completely straight down. So we're going to move on to mascara. So I have the Mega Length Waterproof Mascara from Wet n Wild. It is in the shade Very Black, so this is it here. So we're just going to go through and coat my lashes with this. Now that I've applied the mascara, I'm going to move into lashes. So I have some lashes from Wet n Wild. I didn't actually know they sold lashes, which is amazing. So I grabbed a pair in the shade, in the style, Shredding the Fringe. That's an odd name, but this is what they look like. They are a lot more natural than the lashes that I normally wear, but these were the most dramatic ones that they had, so you gotta work with what you got. So it comes with a little lash glue as well. I won't be using the lash glue today. I'm just gonna be using my own lash glue. I'm actually gonna use the little tweezers to help me pull out the lashes from the box without damaging them. Yeah, I'm just going to apply the strip lash to my eyes. I always get so many questions on how I apply false lashes and if I could do a tutorial, so I'll do a little mini tutorial on how to apply false lashes. Firstly, you apply the glue to the lash band, not applying too much or too little, just enough to cover the band. I let that get tacky for a couple seconds, so I give it maybe like 5-10 seconds to get a little tacky. That way it is going to stick to your eyes better. If you apply it as soon as you put the glue on the band, it might not be tacky enough, so sometimes you're gonna find it hard to stick to your eyes just because the glue's not ready to stick. But if you leave it too long and the glue sets too much, then it's not gonna stick to your eyes as well. So the biggest piece of advice I can give you is let the glue get a little tacky first, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab the lash band and put it as close to your lash line as possible. Yeah, I'm really bad at explaining this, just watch how I do it in the video. Okay, so the lashes are on. They don't look horrible, they're just super natural, but I don't mind them. I'm just used to really dramatic lashes. Okay, now we're gonna move in to lipstick. So for lipstick, I have the Wet n Wild Mega Last the Mega Last Liquid Catsuit matte lipstick. So I have two of them, one in the shade Give Me Mocha and one in Nudist Peach. So these are the two colors I have. I'm not sure what color to go for with this look. Let me quickly swatch them on my hand and see which one is gonna suit this look more. I also really love the packaging. They really remind me of the Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks. They're exactly the same size and pretty much the same like design. I think I'm gonna go with the top one, which is the Give Me Mocha. I say mocha, sorry. So I'm just gonna apply that all over my lips. Now we're going to go in with a Wet n Wild lip gloss. This is just a clear one. I'm going to apply this all over my lipstick just to give it more of a luscious look. So I did also go out and buy the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Natural Finish Setting Spray, but since I tried to film this video already, I ended up using it and it's completely empty. Okay, that was a bad idea. I just spat all over my face because there was like nothing left. So this is the final look that I've created today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I found it very fun to film for you guys. I have filmed a similar video before, which was a full face using Thin Lizzy Beauty. So if you guys want to go check that out, I will link it at the end of this video and it will be in my description box as well. If you guys enjoy these kinds of videos, let me know in the comments and I will film more for you. Comment down below what kind of brands you guys want me to film next. Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see because I am going to be bored out of my mind. It is day 2 of the lockdown and yeah, I don't really know what to do. I am going to be uploading twice a week now. I thought I'd give you guys extra content for those of you who don't have a lot to do, you know, you can watch my videos. So yeah, I'll be uploading on Wednesday or Thursday and Sundays as per usual. That is going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe and turn on the bell notification button to be notified every time I upload a new video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.